The superstars of Fan Control Football Season 2.0 are not only the who's who of celebrity team owners and influencers, not the 21 million live views of our Emmy-nominated broadcast. Across Twitch, DAZN, Fubo, NBCLX, Peacock. Or our highlights that scored over 100 million views. And we can't forget best-in-class sponsors. But the biggest star of Season 2 is our play calling app that allow fans to control the action on the field. Fans pick a team, pick a play, 4 run plays, 4 pass plays to choose from. The play with the most votes is called in real time.
We got it.
This is where video games and live action come to life. And now, Fan Control Sports and Entertainment brings you Fan Controlled Hoops, where fans call the shots. Coming 2023, the future of sports is here, and it's Fan Control. Power to the fans.
Are you ready for it?
This is FCTV, fan-controlled television. Programs created and produced for the fans, by the fans of fan-controlled sports and entertainment. As always, power to the fans. And now, it's time for the show.
Don't cause a ruckus. We talking that talk, just spitting them facts. We setting them traps and cracking them bags. Yeah. We got all the news, we know all the stories. Yeah. We start from the bottom, rise up to the glory. Yeah. We say what your local reporters can't say. Yeah. We break down the X's and O's on the play. It's AJ, King, Con, and Jose. Ruckus. We call it right on the first take, and they love us. Yeah, we the best when it comes to sports debate. Find the podcast and let it play. If we get you in your feelings, that's okay. AJ and Jose send you on your way like, bruh, don't cause a ruckus. We just call it how we see it, big bro. And that we will always.
What's up, Internet? Welcome to Don't Khahs, a Ruckus, the sports debate show that tries not to take itself too seriously. I am your host, Jose Ruckus, and joining me, as always, is my good friend and arch enemy, AJ Khah. AJ, how you doing this week, man?
I'm all right, man. How you doing this week?
I'm doing just fine. You know, I was worried that once the NFL, went away, we would be really struggling for news. But no, this weekend was pretty exciting.
Yeah, it was all right. It wasn't super exciting.
There was all kinds of stuff going on. We just there's NBA news, we got WNBA news, we got the XFLs going on right now. That's a little bit interesting. But, we'll get into that stuff later. Let's start off with the NBA All-Star game that happened over the weekend, because a lot of people have been talking about it this week. Some people have called it the worst basketball game ever played. I really didn't. I mean, I obviously didn't watch it. Who watches the All-Star game these days? But I caught clips on Twitter.
I
did.
It's
not good. You watched it live?
No, I did not. I didn't watch it live. I was too busy watching the XFL. So I taped it all and then watched it the next 2 days, while I was working in the background.
It was not good.
It was not good. Yeah.
I mean, initially there were a bunch of criticisms of people just oh, nobody's playing defense, everybody's just standing around, and then people started to notice, nobody's playing offense either.
Yeah.
They just the guy who has the ball, he gets to drive to the hoop, and everybody else just stands around.
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of half court shots. It's just there's no competitiveness anymore. At least back in the day, when they didn't play defense, they would kind of play defense, and the fact that they would stand in front of the person that they were supposed to guard. They wouldn't put their hands up, they wouldn't foul them, they're not body check in. But they would play kind of defense. They would play ballpark defense is what I call it. It's lazy D. But, they would at least string some passes together, try to get an alley-oop here or there, make something flashy happen. But not this year. It just felt like you said, just one person driving to the hoop each time, and they just kind of pass it off to whoever wants it, who hasn't gotten it.
Last year, the All-Star game wasn't this bad. Even last year, we had a competitive ending. It ended with LeBron having a fadeaway shot. It was the first introduction of the Elam ending, and people seem to think that the Elam ending kind of fixed the All-Star game, but then just 1 year later, and we're back to it. This was
worse. Yeah, it wasn't great.
People were asking, what possibly could fix the All-Star game, And I think it was
Defense.
Shane Gillis-Alexander said that, if you put money on the line, like you had us pay for a pot of money, we would be more competitive. Do you think
But
they
they
need to go
are.
that far to get?
See, that's the thing that I kind of don't appreciate is like, because they kind of already did that in the fact that it's like a charity that gets the money that you guys are fighting for. And I liked that. I thought that was cool. And I I would hope at this point, because they are paid a lot of money. Like athletes, especially like some athletes in like leagues that aren't the NBA, the NFL, they don't get paid nearly as much as they should. But the NBA especially, they're getting paid pretty well. And to be like to ask for more money to me is a little wild. I think it should be an honor. Like I miss the days when like being slam dunk champion was an honor. You know, remember when Michael Jordan was like, "Oh, I'm gonna win it," won it, and then he's like, "Now that I won it, I don't have to do it anymore." Dominique did it. Like, gone are the days that superstars want to do it. You know, like
Yeah,
they asked Anthony Edwards if he would ever do the dunk contest. He's like, "Nope, never gonna do it." It's just, but why? Why?
That blows my mind too that nobody wants to. We had to beg people to do the dunk contest this year.
They
Had to
brought
bring up a
somebody
guy
from the
G
G
League who won it. It's ridiculous. The way that LeBron's never competed in a dunk contest in the history of his career. He's going to go his entire career having never done a dunk contest. That doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like we should be begging people to come in and do, it was something that players used to really care about back in the day, and now nobody cares about it. Nobody cares. The thing is that these guys will bitch and moan if they don't get selected as an all-star. They don't get to be an all-star. But then they'll show up to the all-star game and they won't play basketball.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I don't
There's a lot of things
or
wrong.
not?
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I do love the NBA All-Star game. I've loved it, but like I think it's because the NBA and basketball has always been my like go-to sport. It was my first love kind of situation. But to see the way that it is being treated now, like gone are the days where Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady are going to battle it out for slam dunk champion. Like I wish Zion Williamson would have the hunger to go win that slam dunk championship. It just blows my mind. I think the only people that want to win anything anymore are the 3-point championship, and that apparently that means something to people. And that's great and all, but even that, the 3-point shootout was boring. I kind of knew Dame Lillard was gonna win it because the caliber of players in it. It was just like not to say that Jason Tatum isn't a superstar, but besides him and Dame Lillard, Julius Randle, I would say it wasn't even superstars playing. It was B-list superstars.
When you look at the people we have playing in the game today, with your Ja Morants, your Anthony Edwards, your Giannis Antetokounmpos, all these great these are guys who dunk. These guys who are really good at dunking. The dunk contest right now should be as exciting as it's ever been with these type of players. When Ja Morant dunks the ball, it looks like he's Hadoukening the basketball hoop. He destroys the thing every time he does it. That should be amazing to see in a dunk contest, and these guys just don't care at all. And I don't know. Freddie Amerl in chat says, yeah, it's getting into Pro Bowl territory, and it really does feel that way. It's weird that for everything bad that baseball does, the baseball All-Star game still feels like it's something that is interesting and that sort of matters. The home run derby is awesome. The guys take it really seriously. They really play for it. The game is somewhat competitive. I mean, they're mostly the pitching's not they're not blowing their arms out or anything for it, but it's a fun game to watch compared to anything that's going on. The Pro Bowl is now a flag football game. I don't know. It's more about the dodgeball and random crap that they do with the Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl is at least somewhat fun. The NBA All-Star game feels like it just doesn't even matter anymore. And not just from the fans not watching it, the players don't care. It's not that it's the Pro Bowl where these guys go out there, they're worried about getting hurt, so they're not going to play physical football or anything. These are dudes who are showing up to a basketball game and can't even be bothered to jog down court on defense. This is bugging me, man. Because the All-Star game in the NBA should be awesome. When you look at just the idea of we're going to look at these two just teams filled with the best basketball players in the world. Basketball is such a fun sport to watch when it's being played at a super high level. I don't get why nobody cares about this.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. Like you're preaching to the choir. I miss the days of good competitive all-star. I genuinely think that it needs to be a situation where it's no longer voted. I was a little upset with the selections this year. The fact that Trae Young is playing at the dude's averaging a double-double. He's like 10th in the scoring lead or position. He didn't even get anywhere close to the All-Star game. I think that's a travesty. The kid also, last time he was in the All-Star game, I went to the All-Star game. It was in Chicago. Him and Luka, opposite teams, they made it fun. They were having a good time playing against each other, and like he was throwing up oops. I think the way it needs to be is the league needs to tell these superstars, hey, you're a part of the NBA. We're an entertainment league. LeBron, Zion, Ja, like you three are going to be in the dunk contest next year, and we're going to throw in a player's pick for fourth. Who do the players really think? If the players pick somebody who can beat you three, we'll give everybody a bonus. If they can't, if you three win it, well, then whoever wins it from you three gets a bonus. And that's how we're doing it. Because, like, we got to bring something back.
Yeah, I don't. They have to figure out something absolutely to make this more interesting to watch. But I don't know. Like, you can't force the guys to do it. It's a union thing, right? Like the Players Association's not going to be like, hey, yeah, you can force us to go to the dunk contest. I just if the players don't care about it genuinely, like if Shane Gilgeous-Alexander is going to say like, hey, I don't care about being an all-star, you know, pay us more to play the game if you're going to be an all-star, then he should never be an all-star again. And honestly, this is a dude who might never be an all-star again.
100%.
So like
you're right.
He's not always going to be playing at this caliber. He may never play in another all-star game again. So it's ridiculous that these guys just don't seem to care. Like if the players aren't going to take it seriously, then we need to like just not vote for these players because I want to watch the best basketball players in the world play super fun basketball. Well, and
I feel like you're right, and along those lines of like they want the attention, they want the they want the accolade of being an all-star. The accolade of being an all-star, but they don't want to play for it. Like, there are some players who they get so upset when they don't get picked. Like I know for a fact Steph Curry was upset. I know that Trae Young was upset. They were snubs. And, it changes year to year. Donovan Mitchell didn't get it one year. Like, there are always these snubs, but show up at the game. Play well. I kind of miss the days when Kobe was around because I feel like Kobe was the last, like, super competitive all-star, and I think that's what, like, got people. He would be just, shit-talking, trash-talking everybody in the locker room, be like, you guys don't want to play? Fine. I'm going to be the best. I'm going to look better than you guys, and that's just going to make me better than you. I always knew I was better, but, like, dang. Like, I'm sorry. They need like somebody like I don't know. They need the confidence of like, Paul Heyman. They just need one Paul Heyman to follow one person around and just trash talk everybody, rile them up before the game. Be like, you guys are trash. You think you're better than the Blood, the King? Like that's what we need just to get some people angry. Because honestly, like the days of Kobe and Shaq getting angry at each other and playing hard and going to it like Dwayne Wade are gone. And like, I hoped LeBron would keep that fire going. And it looks like the new generation doesn't care. I think we need do you remember the year they had like captain's jerseys and they were like, they had like pins for every year or like a star for every year a captain or whatever. So there was one year where they had like warm-ups where they had like, it was literally like high school captains and like they gave little pins of everything. And they were making fun of, it was like one of Kobe's last year, but they were making fun of Carmelo because it was like, scoring leaders, first team, second team, all-star, MVP, like everything. And Kobe's was just littered with like, medals and like little like pins and whatnot. And then he was like up, I forget who he was up next to, but they were like, I think it was Carmelo Anthony. And it was just like 3 little like shooting leader like awards and that's it. And it was just like that's what I miss, man. It's just like maybe we need to publicly shame these guys enough to be like, you guys need to step your game up. Like, come on.
It feels like the NBA has boiled down, and I think part of it's on the media, part of it's on the players, that the only thing anybody cares about now is winning championships. Like
Yeah.
winning your conference doesn't matter. Winning your division,
Nope.
absolutely. Who even cares if you win your division?
Doesn't matter in the NBA anymore.
Yeah, it literally all anybody cares about is winning finals, and the All-Star game is becoming a victim of that, and it's sad because basketball is interesting in and of itself.
I'm gonna say something wild though. Christmas games mean more to these NBA players than the All-Star game.
They kind of do. They really do. Like, there are those games, these special games throughout the season where it seems like they randomly show up and like, okay, no, we really care about this. But yeah, the All-Star game, they just can't be bothered.
Yeah.
We got more basketball news over the weekend. I don't know if you saw this, but the Phoenix Mercury re-signed 2 players that were not sure that this was actually going to happen. Diana Taurasi, who honestly might be the best women's basketball player in history. She's like when you go look at her numbers in this league, she's like got Jordan type numbers. She's insane. And they re-signed their center, who they were potentially losing with Brittany Griner. They had to play in the same division as the Las Vegas Aces, who, absolute powerhouse. But you literally have like the GOAT with a perennial all-star, one of the best players in the league. I don't know if this makes them contenders, but I think it's going to make the West a lot more exciting. This is going to be a very good team.
I mean, at the end of the day, it comes down to team chemistry and build. Like, it's a good thing that they got their center back. That's a linchpin in most teams, but to have an all-star like Taurasi, I think it's going to change the entire makeup of the team. If they just need to find some role players that can play alongside of them, and you never know what could happen. That's the beauty of basketball, is like sometimes like there are teams that don't have any all-stars that go in and win it all. So as much as we want to say the Aces are going to win all, and Vegas odds, are saying that, I wouldn't bet against them, but you never know. And that's kind of the thing about sports that I love. I'm excited to see what Phoenix can do, especially from these 2 guys. I want to see what Griner can do, especially after what happened this summer with all the issues. Like, I feel like there's going to be some fiery hot passion coming out of just anger, and like, I want to show what I can do.
It would be amazing if they were able to take this team to the finals after everything that went down over the last year with Brittany Griner and stuff. It would be a really, really great story. And that the team is going to be really going with that, feeling that type of energy and stuff. And I think this is really shaping up with all these different storylines that we've talked about in the last couple of weeks. This is going to be like the most exciting WNBA season ever. And I think it's a really, really good time for people to jump on, because you have storylines like this. Literally, this the Michael Jordan of the Women's Basketball Association is teaming up with now probably the name that most people in the world know of, the WNBA, with Brittany Griner having to go through everything that she had to go through the last year. It's going to be a really, really interesting story that's going to unfold this season. I'm really, really excited for it.
The WNBA marketing department needs to take advantage of that. They really do. Like, they need to put some great, like, documentary style commercials out for these 2 guys. Wow, I said guys, these 2 women, and just make it very epic, because like you said, household name, potential Michael Jordan, LeBron James of her like generation. Why not take advantage of that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be awesome. I really hope that they do everything that they can to get people really interested in this story. Because we talk about with wrestling all the time, but when you have one of these type of stories, when you have like a really good story, and you just have to present it to people, and they really, really latch onto it. So yeah, hopefully we see some of that marketing this season. Another really, really interesting basketball storyline that continues to unfold in front of us. Russell Westbrook is now on the Los Angeles Clippers. He goes from the Lakers to the Clippers, which is like historically in basketball the worst thing for a player. It's not great.
No.
The Clippers are pretty good. They have a pretty stacked team. Russell Westbrook's not starting, right? That can't happen here. But is he going to be a contributor on this team?
I don't know. I think Russell Westbrook, we've said this before. He's a CM Punk of the like NBA, man. Like he does not do well in locker rooms. The man blows up teams quicker than like I don't know. There's like some really bad joke in there that I was trying to be witty, but like I can't come up with it off the top of my head. But like he is not gonna do well with his team. I think the Clippers were on their last legs anyway. I think this is the last ditch effort for them to try to make a move that will make them do something in the long run. Because let's be honest, Kawhi hasn't been completely healthy in a long time. He still seems to be in and out. Doesn't even want to play. It looks like. I don't think Russell is going to change that. I'd love for him to come back at full health and see them go at it full force. But like you said, Russ has got to be at max 6-man off the bench. If that, like a role player lead that second squad off the bench type situation. Yeah. Do I think he'll accept that? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really see it happening. Just the way that we've watched Russell Westbrook play basketball for the last 2 years, it feels like I just don't see him being an active contributor on an NBA team these days. Especially given that like his mentality has always seemed to been that when something's not right, the answer is we need more Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook just has to have the ball more. It seems like that's the only solution he knows how to bring to a team. The Clippers are doing good right now. They're sitting 4th in the Western Conference. This is a playoff team already that they're injecting him into. But yeah, I think he's got to be coming off the bench here. I don't see him really being a contributor on this team.
There's no way. Like, I agree with you. I don't think there's a chance he comes off the bench. Like, he doesn't come off the bench. Like, if he does, it'd be shocking. You know who I really want to see? Another Phoenix team. I want to see what happens with Kevin Durant and the Suns. Like, I think that's going to be a wild combination. I have no idea why I'm flickering on and off. I'm going to tell you that right now. But Kevin Durant on the Suns, man, I think that's going to be a bigger. Barely talked about. I think that's going to be a bigger situation, bigger blow to the Western Conference than Russ to the Clippers. Like, think about it: Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, like Chris Paul. That's a better three than got up right now. I'm gonna make something right now.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Dude, give me a quick little rejoin.
There you go.
We can still hear everything you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely. I don't know. This is just a really, really interesting situation here because I don't. It's always felt like the Clippers were just missing like one piece. That's the way that I've always felt about them. And I don't think that the one piece that the Clippers were missing this entire time was aging Russell Westbrook.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is nice. They have the ability to bring on a guy like Russell Westbrook to come off the bench. That's a good ability to have in the NBA. To build up that depth. We talked about it with the Lakers, the potentially Russell Westbrook, superstar coming off the bench to lead the second team. Maybe we'll see that as they go into the playoffs with this team. But yeah, I'm not a big believer in this entire thing. Another thing I'm not a huge believer in, AJ, is the XFL. I watched a little bit of week 1 of
them's XFL. Fighting words.
I watched a little bit, and I gotta tell you, wasn't a big fan of what I saw.
Me too. I'm gonna agree with you on that.
There was some players who did really, really well. Some players who I felt were like a bit under par. I didn't think that the football was that entertaining. I didn't think it was that good. And the league didn't have anything that really hooked me. We talk about the FCF. The FCF, we know we're not watching, NFL caliber football, but there's something else to get you attached to a team, right? You have control over the team. We're calling plays. We're drafting players. And it sort of balances out that, we're not getting high octane, innovative offenses. We're not seeing the best of the best. But there's a way to engage with the league besides it being the best of the best players out there. With the XFL, I felt like I'm not it felt like watching college football, which I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah, no, I agree with you a lot. That's kind of the hard thing for me with all these other leagues and teams, and I'm not the Freddie Airmail that enjoys going and watching every spring league there is. I just like my Falcons. I watch the NFL like passively. I'm not gonna even say passively. I'm a big fan of the NFL. I'm a big fan of the NBA. Like I love watching those, seeing stats, being a sports buff, watching wrestling, going to like NFL and MLB games. Like I love MLS. I'm a big sports buff, but like you said, it doesn't grasp my attention like the FCF. To me, it is like you said, it's just a college league to me. There's nothing special about it. They have special rules and stuff. Like I don't know how they managed to make a kickoff more boring, but they did it. And it is boring. Like I understand it's for the safety of the players, and I appreciate that 100%. I get it, but man, is it boring. Maybe we just do like a toss off, or I don't know, just remove punting altogether, because it just was even more boring.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't understand like the idea behind the kickoff rule, because honestly, if we're getting it down to that point, why just don't have kickoffs? Just get rid of the play. If we're just going to make it worse and it's already not good, just get rid of it. Have them start at the 25. It's really not that big of a deal. It's only if only some other league thought of that kind of idea and integrated it into the game. I don't know. Maybe it would work. But yeah, and the big problem that I saw was quarterback play. Like watching Ben DiNucci go out there and just the dude can't read a cover 2 to save his life. We're seeing almost every game had like more than one quarterback who got pulled from the game.
Yep.
It's just, there are ways that we can work around this type of stuff, and it's just more football. It's not great football. I mean, I'm not going to say that it's bad football. I'm not going to go that far, but it really does. It feels like every game that I watched, it was like watching Texans Jags. It's like, okay, this is, I like watching football because I like to watch the Chiefs. I like to watch the Bills. I like to watch really, really good football. I don't like turning on the Thursday game to watch Broncos Saints. That's not my favorite thing in the world. So just when every game feels like we're watching Broncos Saints, man,
you're not wrong.
I need a little bit more.
So you literally hit the nail on the coffin for me, man. It was the quarterback play. Like it was just abysmal this week. And like, man, DeAndre Francois, if he gets the start next week, MVP for the league, man. Like he's gonna be head and shoulders above everybody. Shout out to Head and Shoulders. I want them to sponsor us because I use that phrase a lot. Just because good hair, know.
I'm a fan of the Head and Shoulders. I like
no dandruff. Anyway, but
Freddie Airmail asked a really good question in the chat, which is, does he think that the league should be going after the guys that we see like Ben DiNucci, like Paxton Lynch, guys who have failed out of the NFL, the CFL already, or should they just be taking the D3 college quarterbacks? I think they should be taking the D3 college quarterbacks, honestly. I get that there's more hype. I mean, more hype around seeing Paxton Lynch and Ben DiNucci than there is some third string quarterback and stuff. I suppose there's more name recognition there, but I would much rather be getting attached to a new quarterback who I really believe might have some potential. I might see them, really show out and make it to the league, instead of watching a guy who I'm like, oh no, I know what that guy is. I've seen Ben DiNucci before. Okay. You're not going to get me excited with some Ben DiNucci.
No, yeah, you're 100% right. Like, I think they need to go after new names. Like, to be honest, like, this is an opportunity for the people who need eyes on them to get to the next level. This isn't, let's watch the failouts of the NFL come through. We don't need to see the rejects of the NFL, the old men of the NFL. We want to see the people who think they legitimately have a chance to move on, and kids who haven't had an opportunity to show out. Like, the NFL only has 32 teams, right? That's 30, like what, 64 chances for quarterbacks, potentially more if you add third stringers. But that's not a lot compared to the amount of people in the United States that want to be a quarterback in the NFL. Now, all the people who have failed out of the NFL, you had your chance, man. Goodbye. Josh Gordon, different. Martellus Bennett, different. They still have skill. They're still showing and that they can be out there with the young bucks and that they still have a lot to prove. But the Ben DiNucci's, the quarterbacks of yesteryear that were already backups to backups, like, come on, man. Your time to shine has gone. Let's give these guys a new opportunity.
Yeah, I think
it's getting old.
the best situation that you can have coming out of the XFL is something that we saw with like Tyler Heineke. And I don't believe that Heineke can be a starting quarterback in the NFL, but I think that guy can be a backup for the next 6 years. I think he's that level of play, and that's what he showed in the XFL. And he got himself a really good deal. And I want to see more of that. I don't want to see Paxton Lynch get benched in his third league.
I'm upset with the Guardians over the fact that they took Paxton Lynch over Mitch Kidd. I understand why. Like, the eye test says Paxton Lynch over Mitch Kidd. Dude was in the NFL. He's taller than Mitch Kidd. But this is what the XFL is about. Give Mitch. Wow. Give Mitch a chance. All right. Give the kid a chance because he has the ability to play in the XFL. I think especially after what we saw in the quarterbacks this past weekend, he has the ability to not only play in the XFL, but to excel in the XFL. And it's sad that he isn't getting that opportunity. And I'm going to sit here and die on that hill if I have to.
Yeah, I hope we see the Guardians are going to have to switch up on quarterback play. What I watched this weekend, they are not where they need to be if they're going to win games. So I hope that we see Mitch Kidd get a chance. I would like to even see I'm not the biggest DeAndre Francois fan in the world, but I think that he deserves at least some playing time in this league, given what I've seen already. So
I'm in.
But shout out to Andrew Jamil, who we knew would do exactly what he did. Played great this weekend. You love to see it.
He got a lot of space between his defender a lot of the times. If you watched back most of the plays, he was open. He just wasn't getting the looks. So,
but he ripped off a huge touchdown. He finished with a good number of yardage and stuff. And I think that if they continue to see from him what we saw this weekend, he's going to get a lot more eyes on him. He's going to get a lot more opportunities, and that's really exciting. That's what we like to see in these leagues. Yeah. We got a little bit more NFL, football talk, but it's coming out of the NFL, which is that they're talking about the NFL. Lots of people, lots of coaches want to ban what has become known as the Tush Push. This is the play that the Eagles ran all throughout the last season, where they're doing quarterback sneaks, having two wide receivers or running backs line up behind Jalen Hurts and push him through the line, pushing on his butt. I like to call it the double cheek sneak. AJ, what do you think? Does the NFL have to get rid of this play?
I mean, I don't know. I think this is one of the goofiest plays in the NFL playbook. If it works, it works. But I feel like, as a defensive coordinator, if you see people set up for it, why don't you do your own cheek defense? Put up two centers back to back behind each other, just prep them up and pancake the rest of the team. I don't know. Figure something out. Figure your own defensive version of the tush push or the cheek sneak, why not?
I actually really, really like this play. And the argument that you keep hearing is that, it's not an aesthetically pleasing play to watch. It's just a rugby scrum. I didn't know that the quarterback sneak was supposed to be an exciting play that you watched.
It's not pretty.
It's not like it's going to go away just because you got rid of it. We had quarterback sneaks before this. And it's a single yard. It's not like you can do this play all the way up the field and it's impossible to stop. You can only get 1 yard with it. I feel like for offenses, 1 yard should be a gimme. I feel like any offense in the league should be able to get you 1 yard on a play. If your defense can't stop it, just don't make it 4th and 2. And then boom, you stopped it. They can't do it. I don't see why it's such a big deal. Sean Payton apparently told, I think it was Roger Goodell or somebody at the NFL, that if they don't get rid of the play, he's going to run it in every single game next year. Go ahead, Sean Payton. You take 5'9" Russell Wilson and put him behind your terrible offensive line, and you go to try to push him for a yard. See how that works out for you. I dare you to do it every single play next year. No, I love the tush push, man. Honestly, it's my favorite play in football. I love the innovativeness of it. I love the creativity of it. I
wouldn't call it creative, man. It's just literally let's get our big guys to push them in.
Nobody else was doing it before this. Nobody else is doing it, man.
I feel like it was more like we can come up with something better, and one person's like, nah. Now I'm just waiting for somebody to do like, we're doing, guys. Here, this is what we're doing. All right. 2 wide receivers. We're going to put our hands underneath the quarterback. We're going to lift him up, and then he's going to do a front flip over the scrum, 10 yards. You keep running. That's a touchdown.
That would be awesome. I would love to see that.
I mean, that's when they hire Ricochet from the WWE to be like, all right, you got to teach us some moves. All right, this is how we go. Get low, boys. Right, Mike. Like you're right. There it is.
Get low. I think that they should keep this, mostly because I don't want to see teams punting on 4th and 1. I don't care where you're at on the field. If you're in your own field position, if you're in the enemy's field position, I feel like 4th and 1, any offense in the world should be able to get you. I don't want to. I hate when my team is on 4th and 1 and they decide to punt. I lose my mind. The cowardice that you see. Just go for it. And the tush push enables teams to comfortably make those decisions. They're not going to get it every time, but you feel like you have the opportunity and you're going to do it more. I think that's way better for the game. I get it. Defense needs more help. Oh, the offenses are too good. Give them 1 yard plays. Give them a guaranteed 1 yard. I don't care. I like offense in football.
All right. How about this? Instead of doing a tush push, you just signal for it, and they just give you 1 yard. Would you prefer that, Freddie Airmail? Because I don't think that's better. I think the tush push is better. Let them fight for it.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see the argument about how this isn't football. Like that, it's this horrible thing that needs to be like. You're a guy running behind another guy. Like it's not that big of a deal. Like, if they literally can't use their hands and you just have to have A.J. Brown just, like, run in a straight line directly at Jalen Hurts, I don't know. All right. We got to move forward because we got some movie news coming out this week we got to get to. The D&D movie comes out in March. There's a couple new trailers that came out for this. I'm starting to get really, really excited for this movie. I know that a lot of people online not super interested in the D&D movie, but the trailers that I've seen, the comedy that's in these trailers, I'm super into it, man. I'm really, really excited to go watch this movie. What do you think, AJ? Are you into it?
I'm hopefully hesitant over it. Because I'm a big D&D nerd. I play with me and Stathead have a game actually with 2 other FCF employees that we started while we were at FCF and still continue on. Doncor Hardy, and who's like one of the football ops and player personnel, and then one of the weight training like coaches.
Wow.
Coach Ruiz Reyes. And yeah, dude, it's fun. Our like partners have gotten involved and stuff. So I love D&D. Like, and the fact that the main character is a bard, even better. Because like I play a bard, obviously. I think you're right, man. Like I'm excited for all the like comedy. Because like if you play D&D, there's a lot of comedy. There's a lot of like
that's the main thing that I've heard people complain about these trailers is that, oh, they're not taking it serious enough. It's got to be, it's supposed to be a serious game. And it's like, no, that's not how it is when you're playing. When you're playing around, it's a bunch of people making jokes and not a single person is taking it seriously.
Like maybe once in a while when the DM gets you with something cool, you guys are like, oh. But like 99% of the time, you're cracking jokes. Like my character, like literally, I'm gonna let you know, I play a bard, like a satyr bard. So imagine Phil,
Mr. Tumnus.
Okay, yeah, exactly. I was gonna say Philatides from Hercules, but Mr. Tumnus is perfect. So it's a satyr bard, right? And he is the shortest. Well, not so much anymore, but he was the shortest character in the group. And the group started with a Goliath monk who just liked to drink and fight, and then a Leonin druid who was just angry and wanted to kill everybody. And then my guy was a punk satyr bard that dropped out of bard college, and his career didn't do well, but now he's a mercenary because he needs money. So that's how he gets into it. And he's great at lying, pretty good at being kind of good at sneaking, but mostly he's just good at lying. And it's great.
I love it. I D&D is like one of my favorite things. I've been playing D&D since like 8th grade. It's the best. It's so much fun.
Great.
And yeah, I know D&D is having a big explosion now because of Critical Role and all this stuff. It's like, and Stranger Things is like the most popular it's ever been. The movie looks good to me. I'm super pumped for it, man. I hope it does really well because I like to see D&D do well. It's so much fun.
Yeah. I just hope this it does well enough that we get like multiple sequels and stuff, because the beauty of D&D is you can have so many new characters, original characters come in and have so many different actors come in that it doesn't have to be the same person every time. You can do branches off, whatever.
There's a lot of really interesting things that they can do after they because obviously the first movie you're going to be getting out of the classic tropes right away. They're fighting a dragon. They're doing, they're going to all the stereotypical places that you think they go. If you get sequels, you get to get in the really obscure, really interesting stuff. And D&D,
mind flayers.
Yeah, and if they do Forgotten Realm stuff, there's so much cool stuff that they can do. There's the, the Dungeon of the Mad Mage and stuff. You can do that. You could do Tomb of Horrors. There's all kinds of crazy shit that you could do if you get sequels. So true. Yeah, I would love to see this movie do well and turn into a franchise. Speaking of movie franchises, Creed 3 is coming out this month, I believe. So I've got a topic for you, AJ. We're only two films in right now on the Creed. Third's we're right on the doorstep. Which film franchise is better, Creed or the one that started it, Rocky?
You're gonna hate me for my response right now.
Okay, well, which one?
I don't know. I've never seen any of those movies.
You haven't seen Rocky or Creed?
No.
How?
I haven't seen any of. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you.
You've never seen a Rocky movie?
Oh
my god!
I know the reference. I get the reference. I've ran up the Philadelphia stairs. I did the thing on tour because you.
Why would you do that if you haven't seen the movie?
Because my entire band did it, and I felt stupid to be I've never seen the movie. Yeah, I've never seen the movies. I'm gonna be real. It's just, I think it's a situation where I just never got into boxing.
You gotta go watch the Rocky.
You're you gotta go watch.
They're really, really great.
Okay, I guess I'll watch it.
And I think Creed's better than Rocky.
So that's your answer.
Creed is shaping up to be extreme. The first two Creed movies. I think Creed 1 is probably the best movie in the entire either franchises. Amazing film. Amazing film.
Okay.
You gotta go.
Yeah, you gotta go.
I gotta go watch.
You have homework.
I'm blown away that you haven't seen these.
So okay,
I mean, Rocky at least, man.
Well, because you got to think of it this way: Rocky was in the '80s, man. I was born after they were all done.
So was I.
I know. That's why I'm that. There's a reason why I haven't seen it.
Star Wars is before you were born. You've probably seen that, right?
I'm gonna be real with you. I hadn't seen any of the Star Wars movies almost until 2018.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, and then my band was no, you have to sit down and watch all the Star Wars. And I'm okay, fine.
Watch Star Wars. You seen Indiana Jones?
Yeah, I've seen Indiana Jones, yeah.
Okay. Well, Indiana Jones is awesome.
Oh yeah, no, Indiana Jones is good. Temple of the Crystal Skull though is kind of ridiculous. So I'm excited to see what happens with the next one, but kind of not.
we got the fourth one.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
first two are the best.
Yeah. I actually Indiana Jones 3 is my favorite with Sean Connery.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's my favorite. Okay,
No, I saw weird movies. Like I'm a big like I saw the Warriors and I love the Warriors. Like
Warriors is awesome.
Goonies, great movie. I don't know. I was just a weird kid. I saw weird movies growing up.
All right. Well, that's gonna wrap up all the movie topics we have, but we do have another topic. We don't got a graphic for it though. AJ, Elimination Chamber.
Yes.
Happened over the weekend. Now, I didn't get to watch all of Elimination Chamber. I only checked out a little bit of it. What were your full thoughts on the premium live event?
It was better than I was expecting. I'm not a huge WWE fan. I've made that clear over my tenure in many FCF situations, but I do try to watch the pay-per-view events. The things that I liked about it, I thought that the Elimination Chamber like match event for the women was like great. I loved how it ended. The men's, Montez Ford getting like really hurt. I think they really need a ban like the curb stomp that Seth Rollins does. He's hurt too many people. Like
yeah, they had it banned for a long time, and then a couple of years ago they kind of just like let him do it again. Yeah,
and he like hurt Montez Ford like bad, like to the point where he had to get multiple people to help him out of the ring. Not a huge Logan Paul fan, but my favorite thing of the night was the whole. Did you watch the ending?
I saw it on Twitter.
Okay, I didn't want to spoil it because like Twitter almost spoiled it for me, but then like they like kind of lied. Yeah, the whole Sami Zayn thing, I thought it was great. I thought they like really played it up. I knew he wasn't gonna win. It's gonna end up with Cody Rhodes winning it against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania because it ends the story. But yeah, to silence an arena full of Canadians at not even booing, just like silence to a pin drop. That's good writing. That I'll give it to them. Like, you know, there were moments when I was like, oh, is Sami Zayn gonna beat Roman Reigns and take it? But no, just dead silence after Roman Reigns like won. No booing, not just dead silence. And I thought that was great. I think now they had Kevin Owens come in and help him after he already lost, which was cool, but they made it worse on Monday Night Raw and said they don't want to be friends anymore. So it's weird now. Now we all know that they're moving on to Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. So let's focus on that.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I don't watch too many of the WWE pay-per-views and stuff, but you know, I pay attention building up to WrestleMania. WrestleMania is what I'm going to watch again. You know, watch the big four. I don't need to watch Survivor Series anymore.
No.
Survivor Series used to like be like a really important pay-per-view, and now it's just like,
man, there's the thing that saddens me is like they kind of took when they bought WCW, they kind of took all the like WCW like awesome pay-per-views, and they're just like NXT. So like Halloween Havoc used to be like a huge one that I used to love to watch because it was just like so random and like people would come out in the most ridiculous outfits. And now it's
War
just
Games.
Like War Games was so fun. And now
it's all just like it's NXT. Random stuff.
Yeah. The fact that the New Day is still on NXT makes me so angry.
Okay, well, this makes a great transition, AJ, because on Off the Top 3, this ties in with my topic for you. So if you didn't know, Off the Top 3 is a game we like to play. AJ and I got to build top 3 lists off the top of our head. I don't know the subject AJ has for me. AJ doesn't know the subject I have for him. And the subject I have for you this week, AJ, is I want to know your top 3 pay-per-views. WWE, WCW, what are the top 3 pay-per-views? Now you can do just like full like SummerSlam as one whole thing, all the SummerSlams. Or if you want to get specific with it, if you want to talk about, you know, Royal Rumble 2007 or whatever, you can be specific with it.
Oh man. That's really hard, man. Like that's actually like a really hard one. Shit. I am not prepared for this because there's so many. Okay.
But you can't just think of a couple like because I could give you a couple off the top of my head.
Well, okay. I'm gonna do broad ones just because like you can't.
Okay.
WrestleMania, obviously, great one. You're always gonna love that one. I'm gonna put Halloween Havoc because I've just loved that. That was what I always looked forward to. But
I think Halloween Havoc like 94 has one of my favorite
94 is,
matches.
like,
I think 94
great.
is the one that has Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero.
yeah, exactly.
Mask
That's what I was
versus
like, I had to put
hair.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then I don't. It's either Great American Bash or Starcade, but I think I'm gonna go with Great American Bash just because those were like fun. Those are just funny. Those are just funny and fun. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. Okay.
The Great American Bash. Wow.
Come on, you cannot say you didn't enjoy a couple
Not
of
one of my
those.
favorites. No, I don't think I can even like recall like a match that's ever been on like the Great American Bash.
Well, I'm gonna be real with you. I think maybe it was for Fall Brawl, but like the one where it was like WCW versus NWO, the like major one, where it was like
yeah.
Sting showed up and like Crow Sting and like, you know what I'm talking about? That one?
Yeah.
I don't remember
That was
what that was.
because after the NWO showed up, Sting went away for like an entire year, and they would just cut to him in the Raptors, and that was the one where he finally came down and
yeah,
baseball bat, all that stuff.
everybody, and took the whole NWO down. Yeah, that's my favorite pay-per-view of all time. So that's number one for me. Okay, so now I gotta go. Man, that was a great one. I don't even know how to come back from that. Top 3 favorite pop punk albums. I'm gonna go to you. I know you did that to me a while ago, but now I want to know yours.
Okay. Little bit of a stretch, but at 3, I'm gonna put Rancid and Out Come the Wolves.
Okay.
I'm gonna do I'll take Fall Out Boy from Under the Cork Tree. And then okay, what's
I'm surprised you're not saying Danger Days right
now. No, I don't really consider My Chemical Romance to be super pop punk. I'm gonna go 24-Hour Revenge by Jawbreaker.
All right. That's a good one. That's a really good one.
It's a really great album.
Really great album. That's a throwback too, which is great. Good choice.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that one. That's a great one. No, good choices. Rancid.
Yeah, like
you
have
a harder taste than I was expecting. Good. Kudos.
I mean, no, like my late 80s alternative is probably like the music I listen to the most. But you know, I like my Black Flag. I like, I like some hardcore punk and stuff. You know, I'm pretty into it.
Nice.
Yeah. That's, I think, gonna wrap it up for this week's Don't Khahs a Ruckus. If you didn't know, Don't Khahs a Ruckus goes live every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Where we go live on twitch.tv/fancontrolledsports, as well as the YouTube. And it goes live the next day on VOD and podcast services. Just check out the youtube.com/fancontrolledsports or look up the Fan Controlled Sports podcast feed. You can find it all there. And until next time, keep the ruckus to a minimum.
Peace.